We're boxed in. Not the worst set of planets and plot chains to be boxed in with. And we have a friendly neighbor. But life definitely just got interesting. Hello, Legion. This is Hadrian. Thank you for being here. Let's play some more Stellaris Federations in our Final Federation 2 series. We have just met the NASA Authority. I say just met, but we didn't get to shake their hand because the game didn't give me an encounter dialogue with them, unfortunately. They are fanatic, or not fanatic, they're just xenophile and fanatic militarist. So we don't quite know how they're going to respond to us just yet. We are cooperative, which means border friction will be less of a problem with them. But I haven't set any envoys yet to improve or harm relations with them. We just have a very nice average level of attitude from them right now, and we're going to see what naturally develops as we begin. I mentioned at the end of the last episode that I wanted to talk a little bit about Starbase placement as we began this one, because we had some piracy last episode, and it's time that we took some steps to avert piracy. As it happens, the layout of our core territory here is really good in terms of being able to place a station that can help us control piracy on all of our core routes. What do I mean by that? You might recall, and I don't remember if I covered this specifically already, but we have these trade hubs on Sirius. Now, the first trade hub allows us to collect trade value from inside Sirius. The second allows us to collect trade value from anything immediately neighboring Sirius, which Sirius is a nice central system that has a number of nearby territories. Now, Alpha Centauri is already putting out 5 trade value. There's no other system putting out trade value adjacent to Sirius, but the second trade hub allows me to collect that trade value. As you can see, it's being collected. When I take this resource view away, there's nothing there. Number's green. That means that is being brought in, which is really quite nice. So as a result of having that in place, we are able to collect trade value. Very similarly, the hangar base, which we finished researching in the last episode, can protect along certain numbers of jumps, depending on how many hangar bays you build on a starbase. So I'm going to give the order for the Alpha Centauri base to be built, and this will be a military station that has hangar bays on it. And that will allow us to police trade value along, let's take a look at the trade route here, pretty much along much of this route, because we'll be able to police Peia. We won't be able to police ESOM until we have a third. We're going to have to upgrade the station a bit. We don't have that technology yet. But this is going to allow us to really protect this trade route largely from the Alpha Centauri system, even though it's not along the trade route, which is pretty neat. So we're going to be doing that momentarily. We have a number of buildings going up. I changed my strategy somewhat in the last episode based on the fact that we've encountered potentially hostile new enemies. Oh, you don't have anything to do. Go explore. And I'm just going to set them to auto-explore. So that was a shift click there.
Construction completed.
Now let's see if we can make any of our factions a little happier. Enclaves Incorporated, they want to be federated. They want a new contact. Well, we would have had a new contact, but the game bugged out and didn't say anything. All right, so the Liberty Now Foundation, is pretty happy right now. It's the Wealth Promotion Group that's not happy. We don't have a lot of energy right now since we just renewed our deal for additional monthly influence.
Completed.
Or rather, not influence, but unity. Crashed scout craft. Where? Oh, a small scout craft of some kind plowed into the surface of this asteroid millennia ago, creating a shallow canyon. There is no visible cockpit on the ship. What system are we in? Oh, Hades. Leading our systems to believe it was either piloted by remote or through some kind of primitive artificial intelligence. Although it is too damaged to be salvaged, the ship hasn't been picked clean by looters just yet. We will study its design. Let me take a moment to make sure that I'm looking at all of the anomalies in this area. Because we have that anomaly in Hades that we haven't looked at yet. Go ahead and research that one, please. And then this is Luc Pelletier. Yeah, I want to have him go back and look at that anomaly in Mighton as well. Alright, yeah, we've already got a couple of automatically exploring science ships, and they're also level 1. They're the ones that need to explore and get themselves out there, so we're going to have them do that. Alright, perfect. Hades has been locked down. Now, this also needs to be a starport. So we're going to go ahead and build a border station there, because if we have a conflict with these guys, let's see how our relationship with them, yeah, it's declining. We're going to let that decline. We're going to be a little more adversarial with the NASA Authority, at least for now, because I'm going to play the game a little bit. I would like to lock down the Muric system. I can't claim territories unless they declare war on me, and then I can claim them. And if I beat them in the war, which, by the way, they are superior to me in fleet power, equivalent in technology and economy level.
Construction complete.
So we're going to have to stay ahead of the curve here. But if we defeat them in the war, then we'll get that system. and we'll be able to continue expanding. If we can't continue expanding, it's fine. We still have a lot to do within our territory. We can play tall for a while. Plus, we have our neighbors to the north that we can potentially federate with. Anyway, there is clear evidence that a massive space battle took place in close orbit of Hades 1 at some point in the last 5,000 years. The surface on one side of the planet is pockmarked with craters from stray weapons blasts, and scans from the NSS Aldrin have picked up several hulks on the ground. Though these wrecked ships are all in very poor condition, the fact that anything remains at all... I love this track, by the way. After the damage they must have sustained is a testament to their advanced design. Science Officer Luc Pelletier is preparing an expedition to sift through these derelict hulls for any valuable technologies.
Situation log has been updated.
All right. So, tell you what, why don't you go ahead and research that since it's right there. We have a couple of decisions to make. Basic combat roles have been unlocked. That's good news. Next level laser, probably a good idea. All considered, let's go ahead and do it. And First Fleet is on the way to... Alright, they're one jump away from the Underground Vault project here. Still don't have anything on Precursors, it's weird. Alright, so either research station output increased by 10%, or leader experience gain increased by 25%, and leader level cap increased by 1. This is all leaders, so scientists, generals, like anyone on the leader screen. Governors, everyone benefits from that. Oh yeah, Nyanzani Nkwali was a governor. That's why I didn't have her as a researcher. So, okay. I might be able to use her with a future colony. You know, one thing I might do... How much would it cost me to offer a migration treaty? 0.25 per month? We're going to go ahead and say, yeah, let's do that migration treaty. Because if we can have Rock in our empire, then we might be able to colonize some of the worlds within our territory a little bit sooner. And that seems to me to be something worth pursuing. Let's go ahead and confirm that. Now let's go back to traditions. I think I want to improve research station output. Again, that's just research stations, but I'd rather have that small boost.
We have detected an anomaly.
We briefly detected some unusual energy readings emanating from this planet. It might have been a glitch in our systems, or it could be a sign of something more. So this is routine. Research time 118 days. Let's have him go ahead and research it. All right, you build that starbase, please. How are our new stations coming? The iStars station has been built. We don't necessarily need to do anything with it yet. Although, you know what we could do? We could build a trade hub. And this is interesting. I'm curious, even though I said just a moment ago when I was explaining down here that the trade hub only allows collection, the first trade hub only allows collection within one system, I want to test that right now. We're going to put a trade hub up because I want that MEMAS trade value. We don't need this to be a military station right now because I now know where that wormhole is going. Which is, I suppose, a little bit... Oh, nice. Notice that our Arctic worlds are now much more habitable than they were before. And that's because we have Rock as part of our empire. So let's take a look at their species specifically. So the Rock are lithoids. They have a desert preference, but because they're lithoid, they have a 50% habitability bonus. They consume minerals instead of food, so we'll have to think about that. So it's their population consumes a different resource in order to survive. So we don't have to feed them food, but we have to feed them rocks. And then we have additional leader lifespan, army health. Their pop growth speed is slower, which is good. I mean, that's as far as being able to control a population's growth that is taxing our resources in a different way than our normal population. It's good that they grow more slowly. But I kind of want to just take this 25-slot Arctic world right away because it's 25 slots. Also, we have a rare resource here on Alpha Centauri 4. Ooh, Betharian fields. Yeah, let's go ahead and colonize with the Rock. So this is going to be... Alaska. I like it. Let's go with it. It's a little bit different. It's a little bit less fancy than Avalon and Atlantis, but it fits the theme. So this is going to be Alaska. It's an ice world. Why not? Magnetic reversal. The magnetic field of Isar 3 experienced a complete reversal while it was being observed by the NSS Sagan. This rare event has interchanged the positions of the planet's magnetic poles. Fortunately, it was all recorded by the sensors of our ship, providing our scientists with a lot of valuable data. So we're going to get 150 physics research in a lump sum. So I looked back into this in between episodes, and I want to take a moment just to say more about the research system. And thank you again to those of you who have been talking about it in the comment section so far. So the way this works is when you expand this particular section, you can look at each research category. And they do this so that you don't just get, when you get points like this, like 150 research points, they don't want the system to play out where it's just like, hey, you found this thing, here's a bonus that just appears in your understanding, because that's not very realistic. They wanted to create a system where the research was accelerated for a certain amount of time as a result of finding the thing that you found. So the way that this works is that currently, here's our technology. We're producing, let's look here, 32 physics research per month, okay? So that's the rate at which we go through research. And this project is going to take 45 months just doing that, with our basic bonuses that we get from Vlada Vardovskaya, rather. If I'm pronouncing that correctly, someone can let me know, someone from Russia. But you can check there, and then any of their traits as well would benefit their research speed. Like Vlada is getting faster research from that. However, if we accept this, notice that shortens. The reason that shortens is that we now also have 150 stored physics research, which means until that depletes, we will go through that at the same rate, 32 per month. So for about 5 months, we'll go through that. And so in 5 months' time, in June, I'm going to try to remember to come back and look at this estimate because I'm curious how that ends up. But that's why the estimate changes. And that's why it doesn't all just show up right away. You kind of chew through it. That way there's more of a realistic sense of, okay, you've gained some bonuses from this thing that you discovered that your scientists are researching, but it doesn't just automatically benefit you in terms of a single instantaneous bonus. It is an acceleration to your research over time. Special project failed. Fighting off the beasts around the underground vault on Percata 4 has caused the complex to collapse. We're unable to salvage anything of value from the debris. That sucks. All right, well, let's order the ships to return home. That stinks.
Anomalous readings registered.
Another anomaly. A Class 12 asteroid
has concluded.
Orbits this moon. This is why I keep things on speed 2 during Let's Plays for the most part. The small planetoid's orbit appears far too stable for its presence to be a natural occurrence. Oh, look at this. The Isar system. Look at these 2 stars, Class F and Class A, right next to each other. That's just beyond the territory of our new friends, the NASA Authority. Friends, air quotes. All right, so where are we specifically? Right here, this barren world. All right, tell you what. Research that anomaly, please. Special project completed. The team under Science Officer Luc Pelletier has finished their expedition on Hades 1 and returned the NSS Aldrin. Sadly, the wrecked starships on the surface were too badly damaged to recover any useful technologies. These vessels were clearly very advanced, however, and we could gain valuable engineering insights if we analyze the way they were designed. We should consider the construction of a permanent science outpost in orbit. Nice. All right, so we'll give the order to build a research station there.
Construction completed.
We're going to build a mining station there. We're going to build that mining station there. Notice we have some trade value to collect.
Research concluded.
Nice. Gene Clinic's research is complete. Not that we have any slots to build those on anymore, but hey, it's there. So we can get our secondary boost to society research if we want to go ahead and go there. We also have our first opportunities to clear some tile blockers. Let's see where these are problematic. We have 1 active volcano on Atlantis. We have researched the ability to clear toxic kelp, which I'll do soonish. And we have dangerous wildlife on Terra Nova. So you might be asking yourself, do these pop up based on need? Yes, they do. Until you have the need to clear a particular type of blocker, you'll never get the research option. Starbase capacity +2, that's the most interesting one to me right now. So we're going to go for that. If you've been following along closely, particularly this episode, but up to this point, I probably don't have to explain that decision. All right, let's get a mining station built and a research station built, so that'll help with our physics research.
Construction completed.
I'm excited about the new colony. Humans are not going to have a good time living there for a while, but the rock people, they'll do great. We have a good relationship now. We're very friendly with the rock.
Construction completed.
It hasn't changed anymore recently, but that's fine. Towed asteroid. For some reason, someone has towed an asteroid into a stable orbit around Izar 3A. The massive engine sections... Oh, it's that same one. And braking thrusters can still be found on the surface, although they have long since been rendered inoperable. Whoever did this also mined the asteroid for minerals, but these operations were seemingly abandoned shortly after they begun. Interesting. So this will be an interesting system to have in our territory, but as of right now, nothing we can do. Because it's beyond our territory. We can still add it.
Construction completed.
We could even go ahead and start adding stuff in here, but the problem is we need to
Completed.
travel through Mirek to get to the rest of our territory, and I don't like that idea. At all. Okay, so I mentioned wanting to test this, the Iostar's trade station. Okay. There's our answer. I correct myself on what I said previously. That initial trade hub not only collects from the system, but it also collects outside the system. So the question is, does trade value get automatically collected if you don't build anything from the systems within a Starbase's system, or from the planets within a Starbase's system? Yeah, we're over our Starbase capacity right now, but we won't be soon. And that's currently causing a Starbase upkeep penalty. It's fine by me. All right, civilian industries is almost done building. That should give our specialists employment. Yep, bingo. And that should also resume our consumer goods shortage in just a few days. All right, good. So that answered our question. Let's take a look at what we can do here. Hades is going to be a military station. Why don't I go ahead and build gun and military battery there. Alpha Centauri, we want to build hangar bays in order to start protecting the trade
System
routes.
survey concluded.
Now, quick note on piracy. When we open up the trade view, we can see that piracy is rampant in these particular systems. Now, currently the trade route value is 21.52. The piracy level is reducing that by a certain amount. Now, again, I had someone ask me, what does trade value do? Remember that we discussed trade policy. This is F6, so the policies window. Currently, trade value converts to energy. You can also set up trade value to convert to energy and consumer goods at the loss of a bit of efficiency, 25%. Same with energy and unity. So right now, our trade value just converts to pure energy. And I would like to keep it that way for the time being. So we need to make sure that our piracy is not affecting that too stridently. And once these hangar bays are built, that will reduce. Also, just having these ships travel briefly through these systems will reduce piracy in the systems. See? It's already
Construction
not as red.
completed.
Governor Nyanzeni Nkwali has died at the age of 66. Yeah, we expected that due to her substance abuse issues. Rest in peace, Nyanzeni. You were a fine chancellor. I imagine Laura Andrews has passed already, because I haven't heard anything about her, and it's only been 32 years, so she might still be alive.
Completed.
But she's older at this point. Okay, so we have a relic world here, and we have Diomia 5A, this arid world, and we have this archaeological site that we're looking into. Are you... All right, we're about to start the archaeological site up in Korea. Let's go ahead and close the trade interface. Oh, there are exotic gases in the Terek system too.
System survey
I really want to
concluded.
lock down Mirek. That needs to happen. Part of me does want Antasneria because they're not touching it, but I'm not going to stress about it. All right, all of our core scientists researching on Earth have leveled up, so we are now researching a little bit faster as a result of that. So we could collect that trade value there by building one more trade hub. Also, we can build an off-world trading company. If we're going to use this as a trade station for now, might as well go all in, get a little bit of energy out of it. Is there another world that I can colonize right now that would be smart to colonize? Yeah. We have a couple here. I think I'm going to go for the Alpine world, which will colonize with the Rock as well. Is there another really cool A name that I can use for this particular colony, or are we going to call it something different? Ooh. I really like Olympia. Let's go with it. Olympia being the tallest mountain in ancient Greece.
Red alert.
Or rather,
Spaceport under
Olympus.
fire.
But Olympia evokes that. That's kind of cool. The tree. Among the asteroids around CP 01761, a tree is drifting through the emptiness of space, an unprecedented and highly unlikely event. The tree is surrounded in a protective bubble reminiscent of an energy shield. I forget the movie that this is named after, but I saw it in theaters. Suddenly, we detect some hostile space dwellers on approach. This coincided with some sap leaking through the tree's shield while we collected samples. Could it have agitated the creatures? We need to figure out what's going on. So that's a fairly strong little protective fleet there. And it's blocking
Situation log has been
the rest of our
updated.
territory, and we're not quite ready to take it on yet with our current fleet strength. Now, the raiders that we have, well, hang on, because they don't have shields. So, yeah, they're stronger than us. We're at about 1 point... No, they're the exact same. Never mind. We're at about 1.1, they're at 1.1. But they don't have shields. But they have 3 battleship-class space amoebas protecting this tree, interestingly enough. So we've got Luke evading hostiles, but he's going in the direction of Hades, which is good. Let's see, what can I do fleet-wise? What have I done already? Yeah, I don't have a high enough command limit. We'll expand that fleet as soon as we can. I could build a second fleet, but I'm going to hold off for the time being. We'll be killing those guys before long. I'm just kind of annoyed because they're in between me
Research
and
concluded.
this new system. Coil gun. Oh, cool. Here follows the latest newsletter to all of our patrons. Sadly, nothing much has been produced in the Enclave. Most of the artists have fallen into a deep melancholy from where no inspiration can be drawn. The mood is dire, but hopeful. Creation takes time, after all. Any donations that might help the group rekindle their interest in the material plane again would be of tremendous help. We could say we could like to donate, or we can't afford to donate now. So... we'll get influence for this, so I want to go ahead and do that. We did finish the coil gun research. Interestingly enough, we can now have destroyers. We can also have starholds, both of which are really important. Destroyers slightly more so. Also fleet command limit plus 10, that's the main reason I want that. It's going to take 78 months to finish the project. Thankfully, we no longer have an admin cap shortage, and our consumer goods shortage is a little bit more under control, so that's good. Luke, how you doing? I want you to auto-explore, please. Yeah, admin cap is still close. 91 Empire Sprawl, 94 admin cap, but we're going to try and stay ahead of it. Okay, now we can build our gene clinics, and I'm absolutely going to do that. So that is going to take some of our consumer goods away, but it will help with pop growth. Speaking of which, let's go ahead. Encourage planetary growth. Let's also... where else can I do so? I'm going to sell just... oh, wow, another donation? Sure. Wasn't expecting that. Tell you what, I'm going to go ahead and donate...
A new world of opportunities awaits.
Yeah, we're going to donate 500 exotic gases because we can afford it. And with that being done... was it Avalon that needed it? No, it was Atlantis. Oh, duh. I need to make the appropriate purchase. Now this is going to be most of my food, but it's okay, I've got a pretty good surplus. All right, Alaska is being colonized. The new Alaska, so to speak. All right, so we've got these raiders repairing up. I want to have them just follow the first fleet again. Good, they're done. Got to stay on top of that because those little tiny differences in fleet strength can make a big difference in battle. Little tiny differences in just armor and shields. This can really throw you off. Okay, so these campaigns have all expired. Notice they're a bit more expensive right now because I'm once again over my admin cap. Having more colonies expanding more rapidly will ultimately help with that. Let's see. If I sell... there we go. All right, so I've got my campaigns back up and running. Again, just a reminder, that's an experience gain boost for 12 years, a consumer goods reduction for 12 years, and a pop growth speed increase for 10 years. RFK-14 periodically spews an alarmingly eclectic mix of particles and radiation into the void. Leave that be for now. You need to level up a little bit more. The Voltuam Star Assembly. Okay, so we finally have encountered our precursors. We have recovered artifacts from an ancient alien civilization on Kazvek 8A. So they're all the way out here. They must have been active in this region of space approximately 12 million years ago, judging by the age of the artifacts. From what they've been able to piece together, our scientists theorized that these aliens, who called themselves the Voltuam Star Assembly, were worm-like annelids, roughly 3 to 4 meters in length, that communicated with each other primarily through vibrations carried along their segmented bodies.
Situation log has been updated.
Okay. Yeah, we're going to leave that be. This is what I wanted to check. Okay, so up here in Korea, this is our very first archaeological site that we uncovered. Dead center. Preliminary excavations indicate that the celestial object came straight down on top of a sprawling city. Let's look at the... We can't look at the site summary right now. At the time of impact, the inhabitants were at a technological level on par with early spaceflight. As Korea 2b does not sustain any sapient species, it is reasonable to assume the event was the beginning of the end of this civilization. So is this a... No, it's a barren world. It is unclear whether the giant rock landed smack on top of the city by design, or if it's just a bizarre, catastrophic accident. So we got 3 minor artifacts. Finally have minor artifacts. Right, there we go. Yeah, the gigantic spherical bump. I remember that now. The moon bump. So we're looking into that. Okay, so we are at a pretty good stopping point for this episode. In the next one, I think I would like to just continue investigating in this direction. And let's take a quick look at our relationship with the Nazi Authority. All right, not really going down too far. So I'm going to go ahead and harm relations with them using our other envoy, because we have 2 envoys. Let's go ahead and use that one. And that way we can start antagonizing them a little bit, because I would really like to play the political game a little bit. And eventually we can have good relations with them, but I would like the Myric system. And we can't take the Myric system from them unless we make them declare war on us. So we're going to see if we can make that happen, because I want to keep going a little bit. I want to know what's going on in this direction. Even if it's just to have this locked down so that I can defend entry into this section of space, I would like to be able to do that. So we're not going to have them take that from us. Yeah. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this one, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to follow along. New episodes are coming out every day at 4 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time. Comments are always welcome. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you next time.